I found an interesting figure on EUobserver.com, and this is regarding how much the European Union makes from visa rejection. You will not believe this figure. The EU cashes in 130 million euros in rejected visa applications, and this is just this year. The report says EU governments rack in 130 million euros per year in rejected visa application fees. The cost of Schengen visa rejections in 2023 was 130 million euros, up from 105 million euros in 2022. The UK, meanwhile, raised 44 million euros in rejected fees. The fees are non-refundable regardless of the outcome. The figures do not account for the cost incurred by not being able to travel for business and leisure or bills or legal advice and private agencies. African and Asian countries bear 90% of the cost for rejected Schengen visas. African countries in particular are disproportionately affected, with rejection rates as high as 40 to 50% for Ghana, Senegal, and Nigeria. The largest number of visa applications to the EU come from Morocco and Algeria. And if we're looking at countries, EU earned 1 million euros from rejected Schengen visa application from Kenya in 2023, and EU earned 3.4 million euros from rejected Schengen visa applications from Nigeria in 2023. So this makes it clear. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about how visa and rejecting visa is actually a business for these countries. We were specifically talking about the US government, but now this information comes out and EU and UK are making millions by rejecting Africa. Specifically, mostly 90% of the rejection comes from Asia and African countries. And in just 2023, the European Union countries made 130 million euros by just rejecting visa applications from mostly Asian and African countries. You see why now they are doing this on purpose? They don't make it clear who is eligible, who can actually stand a chance to apply for this visa. They make it sound like you're going to heaven, right? They're making it extremely hard, but that's not the case. As I said last time, if they don't want us in their countries, fine. But make sure that you're transparent. If someone is not going to make it and you know that you're not going to approve him or her, why charge them all that money when you know they're not going to go through with it? That is stealing. You're extorting people. This should be illegal. They're doing it on purpose just to get money. How are our governments okay with this? That is why I respect what the Namibian government did. They said, okay, if you're not going to reciprocate our visa-free travel to our country, then if you're not going to give it to the Namibian passport holder, we're going to charge you as well and you're going to pay for visa fees. Perfect. You know what? Why not? You might as well get them that way if you're not going to stop them from doing this to your people.
Mr. Dangote, you have previously complained about the difficulty of traveling on a Nigerian passport across the continent. Has it become easier?
Even an hour ago, I complained to President Kagame.
At least you can come here visa-free.
No, here is the best example, but I told him that, yes, as an investor, as somebody who really wants to make Africa great, I have to now apply 35 different visas on my passport. And I told Mr. President, I said, Mr. President, I really don't have the time to go and be dropping my passports in embassies to get a visa. But you see, the most annoying thing is that, yes, if you are treating everybody the same, then I can understand. You know, I can assure you, Patrick doesn't need 35 visas. No, I said that. What I'm saying, you have...
You do not... You don't need 35 visas on a French passport compared to a Nigerian passport.
35 visas on French passport.
No.
But, you know, so which means you have a freer movement than myself in Africa.
Yeah, but you have, I remember that there are 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda. You have 1 visa for the free when you are a tourist.
This is true.
I've done it. So it's good. So you can expand it. It's a question of will. But I think all what is moving on about community between Africa, it's up to the African leaders to decide, will be good for Africa.
Yes, but it will change. And what I keep saying, right now, our main job is to make sure the regional markets, they all work. Okay? Once they work, then we can now go to AFCTA. But the AFCTA also, we need to make sure that it works. We cannot have a very, very promising continent, and our intra-trade is less than 16%. Okay, so we Africans will have to do it. If we are waiting for foreigners to come and do it, both the development of Africa, it's not going to happen. So it can only happen by us Africans. We must risk our resources and make sure that we lead. Then we will have people who actually trust and believe in Africa, like Patrick, to come and help us to push to the next level.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. On a point of personal privilege, because I have the microphone, I complained recently about Nigeria requires me to pay $215 for a single entry 1-month visa every time. Biometrics is $170. And I said, as an African, as a Kenyan, this seems unfair. And they told me, actually, Kenya said it would be easier to come to Kenya, but then you introduced an electronic travel authorization, which made it harder to come to Kenya. So I was like, I don't work for government, but President Ruto is here, so he's heard.
Okay.
So this is how much they are making by denying our visa application after getting all the information. The thing outside of the money aspect of things, what really bothers me is the fact that they will have going forward all this information on you, because when you're applying for this visas, what you're going to be required is like your whole life story, right? Your birth certificate. They'll have all these copies. They'll have your birth certificate, your passport, your spouse, your marriage certificate, your kids, your house, your bank statement. They will have everything and anything they can have on you. Now, you're in their data system as well. They have your information, which sucks. But anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about the amount of money these countries are making by just simply rejecting Africans and Asians, their visa application. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Trubal Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora